Bust it.
A very good day to you out there. Welcome to your choice program on radio, Political Platform. I am Adebayo Bodori. And today we begin the program we are focusing likely on what happened at the APC, the ruling All Progressive Congress Secretariat yesterday. Another National Executive Committee meeting within a month took place there, and let's begin with this quote from the speech of the President Muhammadu Buhari, the leader of the party.
I've taken some time to review and seek advice on the resolution, and what I found is that it contravenes both our party constitution and the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In this circumstance, what is expected of us is to conduct fresh elections once the tenure of the current executive approaches its end. The caretaker committee cannot remedy the situation. But even I feel too strongly about that we should not allow our party to be vulnerable and sustainable, to the opposition by delaying us for going to court and quoting appropriate constitutional, either party or national one, to delay us or to divide us further within the party.
That was President Muhammadu Buhari setting the tone for discussion at the APC National Executive Committee meeting yesterday. And feelers from the meeting, which was held behind closed doors, says most party members were shocked with the declaration of the presidential, let's call it presidential declaration now, that the decision taken at the last National Executive Committee meeting, the one before yesterday, was indeed illegal. And the truth is that that matter was being resisted by several key party members, including those who have gone to court to declare it illegal. And the president made it clear yesterday, and from information flowing from the meeting, which was held behind closed door, was that nobody among the party members could raise objection to the stance of the president, and so it was approved overwhelmingly by the APC member. The implication of this is that APC will in the coming days begin preparations for a fresh national convention, elective national convention, to elect new national leaders after the president had declared illegal the extension of the tenure of the current party leaders led by John Oyegun by 1 year. His position, as I said, was upheld at the closed door meeting yesterday. Journalists were sent away and they did what they do, talking about their party matters, and it was indeed approved. It's on record that the tenure of the party executive officially supposed to end on June 30. Simply put, the party now has less than 90 days to hold ward, local government, state congresses, and national convention to elect leaders at all levels. If we interpret this with the INEC timetable, which was released on January 9 this year, is that the new executive, if elected, we have less than 2 months to organize primaries for those who want to contest into legislative houses, governorship seats, and the presidential election itself in February next year, depending on what the sequence of the election will be, which itself is still a subject of contention at the National Assembly, between the National Assembly and some party and some party bigwigs across the country. Well, I have Ijoma Osamo here, APC meeting yesterday, fireworks, but before the meeting, but everything seems to have died down. Ahmed Bola Tinubu came out and said yesterday, immediately after the decision, that the president has indeed saved the party from crisis. I quote his words: Buhari has, in clear, straightforward manner, affirmed our party remains faithful to the principles of internal democracy and rule of law. What do we take from this? Would that mean that no crisis anymore in the the APC?
Thank you very much, Bayo. Yesterday, I think I want to toe the line of the APC leader, Ahmed Tinubu, because if the president had not advised NEC to take that decision yesterday, I wonder what would have happened to the party, because a lot of persons were gearing up to go to court to take the issue to the court. And if you look at it, look at their constitution, according to what President Muhammadu Buhari said yesterday, the constitution of the party says if you cannot just unpick a party leadership, you cannot just unpick an executive in the party, you have to conduct an election into that's holding a congress or a convention, electing those that will rule over the party for a period of 4 years. That's what is written in the APC constitution. And the president also tied it to the 1999 constitution. That's to tell you that if they had done that, if they had gone ahead with the tenure elongation, it would have been a big challenge for them. Probably before they would have realized what mistake and error, it would have been too late for them to organize and put things together for the 2019 presidential election. Though it's a bit late, but it's still good. And talking about what other time the new executive will have time to conduct a primary into different elected position ahead of the 2019 general elections. I want to let you know that the APC constitution, according to their constitution, the national chairman who is on seat now, Odige Oyegu, still has the right to come up and say, I want to contest. And if he is voted for, he will still rule for another 4 years. So it's not just a closed door issue for Oyegu. And they may just have sat down to discuss this whole issue and tell Oyegu, you can come out and also run for the national chairmanship of the APC. And if peradventure you win, Oyegu knows everything. So there will not be problems in the party talking about primaries.
Well, from feelers from the meeting yesterday, the mood that it was like there appeared to be two camps. One camp very joyful about the stance of the president, which was upheld, and another camp disappointed that the earlier decision was overturned. You know, the argument before was that if they should hold elective convention now, they will not be able to ward off internal crisis ahead of the primaries and the election next year. And those who are in favor, although their feelings were subdued at the meeting yesterday, those who are in favor of Oyegu continuing were a little bit shocked and disappointed, but there is nothing they can do because they could not oppose openly the president. Ujoje is also on the platform.
Adebayo Bodunri, it's good what the president did yesterday, and you know, it came as a surprise to many of them because if you look at the caucus meeting that held the day before, nothing of such was really mentioned, and the president never gave them a hint that he was going to come up with what he said yesterday, and so it took the wind out of their sails sort of like yesterday. But of course, like I was discussing with somebody who can oppose the president, who right now, if you look at it, is the leader of the party. And once he has said it, they came up with saying, oh, they would set up a technical team that will work in 2 days and come up with recommendations. They would look at the suggestion of the president. But of course, you know, that's what we call soft landing. I mean, just to help them to save face. But the president is also, in fact, it really impressed me because it's like he's also becoming a politician now. He's beginning to play politics because he said he consulted lawyers, he consulted people who know about party politics, and he was advised accordingly. In other words, he was not just even looking at looking at the APC. He was looking at the larger picture of the 2019 general elections, because when a party is embroiled in intra-crisis and taking themselves to courts, the thing is, it weakens their campaign, weakens their ranks, and you see the next strong party reaping out of it. And so that was what the president averted yesterday. And he has, I believe he has also paved the way for the APC to put itself together and be able to do something, be able to show its might in the 2019 general elections.
Yeah, let's now join Bolaji Abdullahi, the APC spokesperson, to throw light on the decision they took, on some of the decisions they took yesterday and the implication for the party. Thanks for joining us, Bolaji.
Thank you very much, Abdullahi or Malam Abdullahi. I'm not Bolaji.
So, okay, sorry for that. Sorry for that mix-up. Yeah, can you tell us briefly the high point of the decision taken yesterday at your National Executive Committee meeting? Can you tell us briefly the highlight of the decision taken yesterday at your National Executive Committee meeting?
Well, thank you very much. As you probably know, the next meeting yesterday was called to deal with some of the unfinished business of the earlier meeting in February. Two outstanding issues from the February meeting were the issue of constitutional amendment, party's constitutional amendment, and the issue of the report of the Committee on True Federalism. Those were the two issues on the agenda yesterday. And of course, as we have been discussing, the President in his opening remarks brought to the issue of the issue of tenure of executives of the party at all levels. So at the end of the day, the conclusions on the issue of the constitutional amendment that the committee should be set up, members should be given time to reflect all the suggestions and comments and observations that were given by NEC. Members of the Constitutional Review Committee should be given time to reflect and effect all those amendments as suggested by NEC, and then submit a clean copy that will now be ratified by the next NEC or the convention as the case may be. Then on the issue of the Committee on True Federalism, it was decided that a small team should be set up that will both the National Assembly, the executive and the party to take final position on those issues so that we can now begin to see those ones that can be fast-tracked in terms of implementation. And of course, on the issue raised by Mr. President, because it was not on the agenda of the meeting, it was taken under the AOB. And when it was discussed under the AOB, the conclusion of NEC was that a small committee should be set up to look at the position of the position taken by the president vis-a-vis the earlier position taken by NEC and advise the party on the way forward.
Can we take it now that in the next few days we know the party position on that issue, and if the party position is to hold congresses at ward, local government and state as well as national convention, preparation will probably will set in?
Well, I mean, the original idea, the reason behind the decision taken earlier by NEC to approve for current executives to continue in acting capacity after their tenure will have ended in June was inspired by this very exact situation that you have raised, that no Congress has ever been rancor-free. And in the context of the situation we have in a couple of states, if you go in now and have congresses, you are likely to be left with fallouts that you continue to manage well into next year. So we believe that it's politically smart of APC at this point, instead of complicating the situation for ourselves, to ask members to continue in acting capacity until after the election, then we will now hold congresses. But unfortunately, this was reduced into something else. But we believe the position of NEC is still very clear. The president has made his position known. And this will be reviewed vis-a-vis and the NEC will now decide whether to reverse itself or to reaffirm its earlier decision or something like that.
I saw the governor of Kogi State yesterday still trying to project the position that they held, which was the one of allowing them in acting capacity to avert crisis at the Congress level in wards, local councils and states. Are the governors still pushing to retain that position in the light of what you have said now? And if not, how is the party going to scale the hurdle of the congresses preparatory to the convention, which must hold in the next 2-3 months?
Well, I mean, thank you very much. If the decision of NEC is to reverse itself and eventually go for congresses, we'll have no choice but to put modality in place. But one thing that the people pushing, that we must have congresses for different reasons, one thing they have not said is this. Two things they have not said actually. One, they have not told us how we will manage the fallout that will naturally attend these congresses. In some states at the moment, we have different tendencies.
Yes.
In such a way that if you call the Congress today, you are likely to have 2-3 congresses, parallel congresses. That's the reality. And that is why NEC members are saying, look, what is legally perfect may be politically stupid. So that's why we're saying that we should be careful and not expose our party unduly into all kind of crises ahead of the next election, because this times will weaken the party. Now, when you find some governors saying they are not in support of the position of NEC, you will find that it's because of the peculiarity of the local situation in their respective states. The reason that we need to rise above this and look at the larger picture. The president is very clear. Whatever the party does, party must make sure that it complies with the constitution of the party and the constitution of the federation.
Are you saying that because what is legally right might end up to be politically stupid, you have to throw away your constitution, and then for the fear of the outcome of the fallout of a Congress that you hold to elect your leaders?
You are assuming that this position of NEC violates the constitution. You see, the interpretation that was given to Mr. President on the basis of which he made his observation yesterday was quite germane. But there were other senior lawyers at that meeting yesterday who disagreed. You see, laws depends on the aspect. That's why you have 2 lawyers, 3 lawyers looking at the same law and holding different positions. But we have to ask ourselves, is this about law or is it about politics?
But
to my mind, it's more about politics than about law. Because whatever position we take, we will find components and provisions in our constitution to justify it. It depends on what you are trying to justify. Okay, the constitution says there must be congresses every 4 years. What if there is a force majeure? Maybe there is a civil conflict somewhere, and it is impracticable to hold the congresses. The constitution must provide an escape route for that. So are we looking for how we can take advantage of our constitution to do what is politically sensible? Or we want to hide other constitutional provision to do what will destroy the party?
But are you also considering the larger picture that the president was looking at, talking about the 2019 elections? Because by the time your ranks are weakened by people going to court over rules, regulations, the constitution of the party, would that not have a greater implication for your success than the internal party crisis you may likely have from congresses?
You are absolutely right, but again, like I said, the interpretation of the law that was given to the president, and that's why Mr. President himself graciously said yesterday, this is the interpretation, my position is based on the interpretation of the law, of the constitution that I have been given by my Attorney General and some other legal experts. But I'm saying here that I still want NEC to debate this. We have other lawyers in the room. But whatever we do, I just want us to be sure that it is not inconsistent with the Constitution. So Mr. President is not saying that the position he has taken was final. He was a Democrat.
We have to thank. Yeah, we have to thank you at this stage. We thank you for joining us, and we hope the issue is an ongoing issue. If the need arises, we still call on you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
At this stage, we take your mails.
Thank you for joining us on the mail segment. I am Ifeima and I'm Amaka Okuru. Welcome. Reactions are still trailing on General T.Y. Danjuma's speech, and Kenneth Madubuko in Abuja is asking if it's a call to anarchy or self-defense. He says, when the news broke about the speech credited to General T.Y. Danjuma on the palpable culpability of some elements in the Nigerian army, as usual, the social media space went frenzied. While some were affirming the position of the general with reasons ranging from the fact that his position on the matter suited their own narrative or prejudice, as it were, to the fact that his call was apt, given the seeming helplessness of the victims or would-be victims. Others were totally condemning his position on the basis of its seeming incorrectness and a call to anarchy, given his influence and position in the Nigerian police sphere. The fact is that the military seems to have been compromised, as they appear to have taken position in matters relating to the herdsman farmers crisis. Or else, how does one explain the fact that all fingers seem to be pointing towards the military, either based on their complicity, complacency, or incompetence at the very least? I may not be in support of the general's an eye for an eye, as it is common knowledge, the saying, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Howbeit, we should not lose track of the salient issues inherent in his call. I think the call of the general is apt, as it would appear that the people have lost faith in the ability of the authorities to protect them.
And Frank Adamu from Suleja in Abuja starts by saying, beware of Easter kiss Nigerians. He goes further. On this week, many years ago, Judas used a kiss to betray Jesus. In this week alone, in the Nigerian politics, PDP is coming out to apologize to Nigerians. A party we all know her history in the Nigerian politics. T.Y. Danjuma is also coming out to tell Nigerians to defend themselves from killer herdsmen. A man who could not defend fellow Nigerians in Zakibiam, Udi, as the then defense minister. Both PDP and T.Y. Danjuma are simply offering Nigerians the Easter kiss of betrayal. Nigerians should beware of such kiss, especially this week.
And this is how far we can go into this mail segment. Keep sending your contributions to us. Send them through to us to politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Well, three quick issues in the polity yesterday. The Federal Account Allocation Committee meeting was deadlocked because of disagreement and discrepancies about 37.76 billion naira in revenue by the NNPC, the oil giant. And it does indicate the fact that since there is now over-dependence on oil in the country, and the bottom federalism we're also practicing, we push all the states and local government through to Abuja to collect monthly allocation. There's no way that there will be no disagreement of this nature. And in the National Assembly, the Senate is proving allegations that a sum of $50,000 was being given to lawmakers for them to not override the president on the issue of the Electoral Act amendment. We watch closely the outcome of that decision.
Allegation was $30,000 for senators and $20,000 for House of Reps members.
50,000. If you look at it that way. Well, the other issue yesterday, Uju, is that history is now coming back into the school curriculum. It's going to be at the basic level and the lower level of the junior level of the secondary school. For me, it's a welcome development, but I think it was not thorough. We should be able to emulate some countries that make history of their country compulsory. No, it's not optional. Compulsory for students at secondary school level, and as optional at least for the first 2 years at the university. I was shocked some years back when I was doing a report on MKO Abiola when the controversy over the renaming the University of Lagos, and a final year mass communication student was asking me, was Abiola a footballer? Just a few, not less than 25 years. I mean, at that time, less than 20 years after the death of Abiola, who sacrificed his life for democracy in Nigeria. And then, so, Uju.
Adebayo Bodunri, you are not the only one who has that experience. I have had reasons to ask young graduates about things happening, about politics, about renowned Nigerians, and they have absolutely no idea who these people are. I think that whoever removed history from the curriculum, education curriculum, did this country is a disservice, and that is why a lot of our young people have no sense of patriotism towards this country, because they don't even know the history of those who sacrificed and what they did to get Nigeria to even be where it is today. Unlike countries like Israel that would even have a museum, you know, they have a museum of the Holocaust where they take students to go and see for themselves what happened to the country. And that is why in a country like Israel, you see that they have a very, very, almost an extreme sense of patriotism towards the country. And that's what we should start inculcating afresh.
I think that it's a welcome development, but I think it's not enough.
Half a loaf is better than no bread.
Yeah, it's better, but I think if what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. And just side by side with history is that civics education should also be strengthened in our educational curriculum, so that the younger Nigerians who are the leaders of tomorrow will be able to know much about their country.
What do they know about the country they want to lead?
Yeah,
that's the question.
I have role models. Role models. Have those who sacrifice for this country as role models that they can copy from, and not just the current leadership that is almost failing the country. Well,
that's much we can bring to you on the program today. Join us tomorrow, same time, when we also bring to you issues, developments in the political arena. Have a wonderful day. On behalf of my colleagues, I am Adebayo Bodunri.
Bust it.